Hey everyone, hope you're having a wonderful 2023 and you have plenty of amazing hunts in Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak on the Nintendo Switch, PC, or the upcoming PlayStation or Xbox releases. Today what I wanted to discuss is the little bit of set of teasers that Capcom decided to drop throughout the holiday period as the end of the year 2022 heading into 2023. They took to social media to kind of do a little bit of a New Year's campaign, if you will. Both director Suzuki took to Twitter to provide two little quiet updates and new information, and of course a brand new like Chiche Quest Damsel type of video series also decided to drop, where they simply provided like 5 separate little clips of her kind of like giving story and lore regarding what is allegedly supposed to be happening in game throughout the holidays. So since this was not necessarily all that worthy to cover individually, I decided to compile them all together and present them in one specific video, since they're all kind of like about the same thing. So everything kicked off originally with a post from director Suzuki, which is I believe one of the usual weekly updates that they provide, mentioning that before he knew it, it was already half a year since the release of Sunbreak. Time sure flies. Everyone from the development team extends our most sincere gratitude to those who joined us in the hunts this year. Here's to even more spectacular hunts in 2023. So this was the very first post from Suzuki right before the end of the year. This was quickly followed by the first video from Quest Damsel Chiche. It's a little video series. You should be able to see the first one right there on the screen right now, where it simply just says that Happy New Year's, enjoy this special New Year's greeting from Princess Chiche. So she kind of just talks about being wearing formal attire, being the princess to the kingdom, kind of providing an information, kind of like introduction to herself. And at the back end of the little clip, she mentions that of course there are several updates in store for Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak to make sure to look forward to them. And of course, here's another year's for happy hunting. Now the whole phrasing regarding several updates was something that originally director Suzuki posted about a few weeks back. We went ahead and made a video regarding that, as they were continually saying several updates. A lot of people took that to mean, of course, more than 2, which as of now, that is all what we have confirmed for this moment. And there's been a little bit of an upground swelling from the community, kind of like suggesting that there will be indeed another 6th free title update being announced, potentially after we end up getting the 4th one in February, because just the continual verbiage that they're using is just kind of getting people riled up. Now we're going to talk about that in a little bit, but the subsequent little post that they provided mentioned that sounds like Chiche and her friends from Komura and Elgato are celebrating the New Year's in the right way. In the next little video, Chiche mentions inviting people from Komura village, and Luchika mentions that they're basically out of food. So Hinoa and Minoto are kind of like eating everything. Funny enough, they never mentioned Bunny Dango, which was kind of like amusing in that regard. And pretty much to look forward to the brand new year. The following post that they provided simply mentions that Princess Chiche went into with Hinoa and Minoto to learn more about there being a quest receptionist. Let's just see if she came back with mixed results. In this one, she just kind of talks about having a prosperous brand new year. She spoke with Hinoa and Minoto at length. This time they do specifically mention Bunny Dango, but she kind of realizes that she never actually asked a question, so she never really learned anything from these 2 other quest damsels, of course, of Komura village. The next post and the little video that they mentioned, the princess Chiche is heading back to her simple quest receptionist look, but we're honored to have her seen her in her fancy attire. This is the 4th little clip update video that they provided, and they mentioned that of course this was, I believe, was posted now after the New Year's. They mentioned that whenever she wears that outfit like an Elgato, people kind of like revere her for being the princess, and she's not necessarily too used to that, and then just treat her like a normal receptionist. This is kind of like a lore thing that's been kind of going around in the game, so nothing necessarily surprising there. And the last one, which Chiche is back at her last New Year's greetings before getting back into work with plenty of hunts ahead. Here's lots to be done. And they specifically go ahead and post in the little video, once again, a little bit of a teaser, wishing you great prosperity for 2023. The celebration in Elgato finished off recently. they started showing off the strength to each other. A couple of the characters did. And pretty much it was a crowd pleaser, as Masu Sushi knows plenty about monsters. They mentioned that come out with colorful characters in Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, and look forward to more title updates in the future. So this is now the second time that these little updates tease or something regarding multiple free title updates. Again, a lot of people just keep suggesting that means more updates than 2 are going to be coming, and the last little post kind of segments and completes the whole little picture, as this is once again a post from Director Suzuki mentioning that Happy New Year's Hunters, just stopping to share this special illustration, which these illustrations, they do them pretty much for every single holiday, and they mention that hope we can all spend another wonderful year together. Now this one specifically is the one that I got a lot more traction, since I kind of opened and provided the context for pretty much everything that led up to this one, because a lot of people took this one to simply mean that when he says, I hope we can all spend another wonderful year together, it kind of suggests, or people are taking it as, this means that there's going to be an entire year's worth of content. Now remember, after the launch of every single Monster Hunter game, or even an expansion, we do get a full year's worth of content. However, basically we expect Sunbreak to eventually kind of run out of content, the year's worth of post-launch content to run out around June. That is when we expect it to just kind of like end. I believe it was June 30th when it originally launched on the Nintendo Switch and on the PC via Steam. Now, the reasoning why a lot of people are suggesting that there's implications of more is because, of course, the PlayStation and Xbox versions of Sunbreak will be launching in the spring. Presumably this means around April or so, and there could be, just as they either choose to launch all the content together on day one, so pretty much every single free title update that's available launches day and date on PlayStation and Xbox, that's available, and then presumably the 5th title update will be launching on the Nintendo Switch, PC, and somewhere around the same time on PlayStation and Xbox. Or if they do a staggered set of launches on PlayStation and Xbox, that kind of carries over. Remember that on the PC side of things, when Rise originally launched on the PC side of things on Steam, that version kind of like staggeredly kept getting releases and updates, the free title updates and content, to eventually, even all the collaborations and stuff, it took some time to eventually catch up to the Nintendo Switch version, which they did pretty much around the end. And then when Sunbreak launched, it was all day and date. But so PlayStation, if it does get a staggered release, we're probably going to go throughout the entire summer period. I mentioned this when I spoke about the teaser information that Ryoso Sugimoto provided regarding the update for maybe at Tokyo Game Show around September, them revealing Monster Hunter 6, whatever the next mainline game is, and maybe that window of like spring through basically end of the summer, which is September, them providing us with plenty of updates on PlayStation. And maybe if they decide to just do one final update, would be around the fall, beginning of the fall, for PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, and PC, unifying all the games together finally, and everyone's on equal footing. That is what people have begun to suggest, based on these type of like little teasers that a lot of people can just kind of keep coming up with ways that maybe Capcom will finally unify all the games together in one final update. Of course, confirming that yes, the next mainline game will have crossplay, cross saves, and all of that, and finally everyone can play together and no longer be sectioned off in their own little corners. So that's pretty much the ongoing kind of like conversation theory crafting situation. After this wave of little updates, I kind of want to provide the entire context as to why people are deciding that these little updates are kind of like giving us more than what we can actually, than what meets the eye, if you will, if you want to look at it that way. Each individual little post is kind of like their own little lore, but they're not necessarily, exciting or anything. But when you kind of put the entire picture together, people kind of see more than what could be there. If anyone is going to be critical towards it, remember that just a few weeks back, we had a lot of people suggesting that Amatsu was hitting in the clouds in some concept art. So the community is very lively to make sure to try to see a bigger picture. But when it comes to Capcom, we don't necessarily know. I will be putting out a video of everything we can expect to see for Capcom's Monster Hunter series, just not Rise or Sunbreak, just the entire series in general for 2023. I'm currently editing that video as well. And of course, the leaks free title update number 4 and 5 monsters video will be coming out relatively soon as well. Hopefully before the presentation drops later this month. If you're brand new to my channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up. And as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya.